Today, we're going to be talking about some of the legal aspects of buying a property in Fortaleza, Ceará. Hello there, my name is Luciano Oliveira. I am a Brazilian attorney. I'm here in Fortaleza, Ceará, and we're gonna be talking about some of the legal aspects of buying a property in Fortaleza, Ceará. So, first thing for you to know is that you, as a foreign citizen, have some very specific needs when it comes to real estate transactions. Your documents, they are not automatically accepted in Brazil like they are if you are a Brazilian. You need a Brazilian tax ID called CPF. All Brazilians, they get that early on. The thing is, you don't have it, so you need to get a Brazilian tax ID called CPF. Good news is we have a really nice step-by-step for you to get the Brazilian tax ID on your own without paying a single cent. Just check the description below and you're gonna see the link for the CPF guide. In addition to the specific documents, the CPF, you also need to face some issues with the contract drafting. The contracts, they are usually drafted based on the realtor's knowledge of the market. Realtors in general, they don't know about the specific requirements that foreign citizens have. Even when you ask and they say, oh, of course I know, most of the time they do not. And if you sign a contract, for instance, saying that you need to close in 15 days after signing the contract, you are probably gonna be in a tough situation because you're not gonna be able to perform. And if you don't perform, you're gonna need to pay a huge penalty ranging from 10 to 20% of the contract plus actual damages to the seller. So you don't wanna be in that position. Our advice is that you retain a lawyer. Even if you don't need a lawyer for the entire transaction, it's really advisable that you retain a lawyer at least for the main legal points of the real estate purchase process, such as doing a pre-due diligence before you sign the contract, reviewing the contract, doing a more thorough due diligence, and reviewing the transfer deeds before you attend closing. Just these 4 points alone are gonna save you from trouble, and they are not gonna take a lot of time from an attorney, so this may be accessible to you. Another aspect, the contract. Usually realtors in Fortaleza, they are gonna tell you, oh, the contract is standard, this is what everybody signs, and that may be true for Brazilian citizens, but for foreign citizens there is a lot of customization needed for the contract. Just know that you don't need to sign whatever is being presented to you. You have an option to tweak the terms, and particularly if you are a cash buyer, you're gonna have leverage to ask for the ideal conditions for you to buy a property. Another legal aspect is the taxes side of the transaction. When you are buying a property, you're gonna pay a transfer tax between 2 and 4% of the property value. You're gonna pay additional closing costs on top of the tax. After you buy the property, you're gonna pay between 0.6% and 1.5% of the property value as IPTU, which is the annual tax on properties in Fortaleza. In addition to those two taxes, you may need to pay taxes if you're doing something like short-term rentals. So if you're getting income, you may need to pay income tax. And finally, if you sell the property in the future and you have a profit, usually you will have to pay 15% of the gains of the property on spot. Two other important things from a legal perspective is, the first one, there is no title insurance in Brazil. So if you buy a bad title property, there is no one picking the tab. The loss is gonna be on you. So that's why it's extremely important for you to get a thorough due diligence done. Second point of distinction, there is no escrow account in Brazil. So believe it or not, you're gonna pay the seller up front and just hope that the seller is gonna attend the closing. In our experience, the vast majority of sellers, of course, they are gonna attend the closing. They know if they do not attend, the buyer is gonna hire someone to sue the seller similar for performance, but a major concern is also about the timeline between paying off the seller and the day of the closing. We are all humans, and if the seller dies in between, you're gonna be entangled in a probate, and probates in Brazil, they may take years to resolve, and it's not rare to see some probates taking decades. And the last thing you need is to be paying a lawyer for 10-20 years because you didn't take the safeguards when entering in a real estate transaction in Brazil. So these are just some of the legal aspects. There are so many specifics about real estate transactions in Fortaleza, Ceará, and Brazil as a whole, but I hope this was helpful. This gave you an idea about the specificities, and if you liked our video, see you in the next one.